Pleasure to meet you. It's allegedly Demetria. You can go ahead and put your feet up. Might as well turn up your speakers. Pleasure to meet you. It's allegedly Demetria. You can go ahead and put your feet up. Might as well turn up the speakers. All to the top besides. Finna turn up like a boss. No problem helping the loss. All of the filters be off. Check out a couple reactions. Go get you something to snack with. Back to Demetria the broadcast. Chopping it up on the podcast. Don't forget like and subscribe. You never know who gon' slide. Leave a comment, baby. We been on shit lately. Say whatever's on your mind. Can I have a good time? You already know how it go. Relax and enjoy the show. Pleasure to meet you. It's allegedly Demetria. You can go ahead and put your feet up. Might as well turn up your speakers. Pleasure to meet you. It's allegedly Demetria. You can go ahead and put your feet up. Might as well turn up the speakers. Pleasure to meet you. It's allegedly Demetria. You can go ahead and put your feet up. Might as well turn up your speakers. Pleasure to meet you. It's allegedly Demetria. You can go ahead and put your feet up. Might as well turn up the speakers. Yeah. We back at it.
Reaction video. We back at it again.
I'm saying. We got another one for y'all. Got something lined up. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, leave a comment.
Leave y'all comments.
Alright, let's get into it.
Get it.
There you go. Boom.
I went to Rhodesia, as it was then called. In the year of our, I went to Rhodesia, as it was then called. In the year of our Lord, 1958. I stayed there until the end of 1959. And early in 1959, I went with a relative of mine, because his brother had married my sister.
Now, first off, peep gang. You peep gang?
I do.
You got the regalia on. He legit to quit. Too legit to quit.
One tooth though.
One, you see him?
I'm just saying.
You see him? You see the
I'm just saying.
you see the Sichuan in the back?
I'm just saying.
You know, right with the fire.
I'm just saying.
He making sure he coming correct. He ain't missing a beat. He ain't missing a beat. Just people. These just people.
We went to the Inyangani Mountains, a range of mountains to the east of Rhodesia. These mountains are very ordinary mountains.
He said, ordinary monkey.
He was feeling it.
Ain't shit popping up. Nothing rocking. You wouldn't think nothing. Oh man.
Yeah.
But there is a brooding menace about them at certain times of the day. They are mediocre mountains, not as majestic as some of the great mountains I've seen in Africa in the course of my many travels. One day, I was with a relative of mine, and he told me that we must climb higher up the mountain slope to search for the herb for which our teacher, whose apprentices we were, had told us to find on the slopes of these mountains. I refused to go higher up the mountain because I was already suffering from a chest condition that made me lose my breath every time I tried to negotiate a mountain slope.
No disrespect, but I
Wait,
know it's somebody finna say it's because that heavy ass thing on your neck.
wait, right.
No disrespect though. No disrespect. You don't want the
Wait,
smoke that come behind talking about, you know what I'm saying? We ain't talking about fuck. But I know somebody gonna say it's because that heavy ass chain on your neck. I wouldn't be able to breathe either.
wow. Did y'all see that?
Chain.
So I stayed on the ground and I went into dense bush in search of this herb. I saw a clump of this herb not far away and I made a beeline towards it. I never reached it.
You made a beeline towards the
A
herd.
strange blue mist fell all around me. It was like a blue haze, a bright blue haze that seemed to fill the whole land all around me. For a few amazed moments, I looked at the landscape through this strange, shimmering blue haze. And what happened?
Now we not talking about purple haze, you know? He wasn't. He probably could have been off or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because, people be doing, you know what I'm saying? But if he was, then he would be aware. He would be used to, you know what I'm saying? Even if, like, you taking hallucinogens, you know when something different, you know what I'm saying? Because you be taking them. Like, I would think, you know what I'm saying? Like, me, I smoke. I know when, like, I can feel, I know when the channel coming through. I know when the room off. But I also know, you know what I'm saying? You know
Yeah,
different
you
things, you know what I'm
know.
saying? So
Yeah.
like I wouldn't put it past him that it was a real event. You know what
But
I'm
with
saying?
blue haze.
Blue haze. He said it was blue haze. Blue haze.
Afterwards, I do not know. I regained consciousness to find myself lying upon what looked like a metal working table, a smooth table of grayish silvery metal, of the type that engineers and metal workers work upon. But this table was like no table I'd ever seen before. It was more like a counter, such as one would find in a supermarket. But it was of solid metal through and through. I was lying on top of this thing and I was naked. And the fact
Wait a minute. Stop.
They got him out the clothes, his jewelry,
And he was naked.
everything. Everything. Folks was laying up,
Yeah, he was smoking
bucket
some
naked,
with blue.
bucket naked,
Oh my god. Yeah.
laying up.
Okay.
Just people.
Yeah.
Listen.
dully registered in my mind, it was as if I was under the influence of some kind of drug or spell,
You
in
know what
that
drugs and
I
spells are for
observed
sure.
all these things with a strange detachment. I was just lying there on the table, not moving a muscle. I was on my back. And then all around me was this strange haze, a turquoise blue haze, or a curtain of transparent turquoise blue material. I do not know. And beyond this haze, I dimly saw that I was inside a room that looked like a railway tunnel, a small half round room which curved away towards an unseen corner. This room was so small and so low that although I am a short person, my head would have reached almost to the roof of this very confined space. And then
His diction lets you know that he's not a
His
fool.
what?
His vocabulary lets you know he's not a
What
fool.
word did you use?
Diction.
I thought you said his dick. Whoa.
Nah, his
I'm
diction.
just
No. His
his
diction.
diction.
His vocabulary. The his word choice lets you know that he's up there. He's not incoherent. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He effing with a full deck, or he
Yeah.
got some cards up there. If it's not a full deck, he's coherent. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So you can pretty much gather from the way he's talking that either A, this story really happened, or B, he's no fool. You know what I'm saying? He's either a scholar of some sort or well spoken.
So is this story time?
He's being interviewed about um a situation that happened to him, and so it's about to in a few seconds. He was like, oh, okay,
Mm.
type situation.
through that strange haze, I noticed many designs made in black upon certain parts of this room, if I may call it that. I even saw a door partly hidden by the curvature of the place in which I was. And there was something on that door, decorations or writing done in black against the silvery metal. And then, through the haze, I saw things moving. They looked like dolls. They looked so incredible that I couldn't believe what I was seeing. My mind faintly registered the spectacle. I wasn't even scared, just mildly surprised and stupefied. These things were moving towards me. There were 5 of them, and before I knew what was happening, one of them, the tallest and the largest by far, was very, very close to me. In fact, the damn thing, please forgive my word, was standing less than 8 inches away from me. It was short. It had a very large, round, hairless head. It had long black eyes, jet black eyes. It had small nostrils, no ears, and a slit of a mouth. Its neck was long, almost shaped like that of a crane.
That is very descriptive. Very
Wow.
descriptive. But are you getting the description he painted?
Wow. I am. Wow. That's crazy.
And this don't look like no, brand. It say right there. It say this was it had to be around 1956. Maybe not
Wow.
when the footage was shot, but you know what I'm saying? This when the incident happened. That incident happened in 1956. It says he's talking about an incident that happened, an alien abduction of his when he in 1956. 1959. I keep saying 56, 1959.
Wow.
And the creature wore a garment which covered it from the soles of its feet right up to its neck. The garment reached up to the creature's wrists. Its hands were bare. The creature came towards me, and for a few moments we stared at each other. And I was conscious of a strange, revolting smell that emanated from the creature, a smell that somehow chilled the blood in my bones. I wanted to move, to run away, but my body would not obey the commandments or the commands of my mind. This creature was something to be feared, I sensed. There was something cold and unbelievably unfriendly in the creature's expression. It was a living thing, of that there wasn't the slightest doubt. It was human shaped, but its face was utterly alien. For a moment, we looked into each other's face, the creature and I, and then I noticed something. That the long black goggle-like things that seemed to cover the creature's eyes were really a kind of goggle. And behind the goggles, one could make out the creature's eyes, split pupilled and round. And I wasn't given.
It's the first time I've ever heard that. No, I've heard a lot of alien stories, abduction stories. I've watched a lot of shows. You hear a lot of different not even necessarily different descriptions. You get some of the same descriptions. But you with the black pupils, he's saying that he got so close to where he was able to even perceive that somehow the black pupil is a goggle of some sort. Maybe it's like even a goggle or it's on the suit or a part of the suit. Maybe even the face is the suit. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so skin tight. But if not, we know that he's saying that the eyes was like a goggle, and you could see past it and see the actual eye behind it. That's the first time I heard that. I just thought, you know what I'm saying, from these encounters or these stories that people were telling that their eyes were just jet black. You know what I'm saying? Or appears black.
Run. That's what I'm saying. Run.
Enough time to dwell upon what I was seeing. As the other creatures came all around me, and the next moment, a terrible scream was torn out of my lips as a burning pain seared into my thigh. I turned my head, forcing it to turn, and I saw that one of the creatures had buried something that looked like a flexible cable in my left thigh, and the pain was horrible. And even now, I remember that and much more with a shudder. But the agony did not end there, because the next thing that happened was that one of the creatures, a creature which looked very strange and unbelievably old, I noticed that its skin was peeling here and there, exposing a sort of a pinkish underlayer. There were peels of skin around the creature's mouth, near its left temple, and very close to where its ear should have been if it had been a human being. This creature pushed something into my nose, my right nostril, and there was a burst of pain that was so excruciating that I don't know whether I screamed or not. It was a maelstrom of agony. It was a storm of anguish.
Just by the details alone, that shit happened. That ain't a legend. That shit happened.
Wait.
After that, my body just became numb. I could feel the creatures doing more painful things in parts of my body. They drained something from my organ of manhood, subjecting me to a deep feeling of horror, shame, and terror. And they did all this with a purposefulness that was almost blood-chilling.
Yeah, the respect for his drink or something. I need smoke. Hold on.
And I remember screaming and crying out for my mother. And the creatures didn't care.
He had to go do some work. He like, hold on, let me light this candle. Sacrifice me one real quick. She just did not care. Now I know all this shit. I'm remembering. I'm gonna send something his way real quick. He probably like frankincense whole time or something. Some herbs, something, some dragons.
Call what? He should have been there.
He couldn't move.
He should have never went.
He didn't know. They abducted
He should
him.
have never went down into the tunnel with him.
They
He traveled down
yeah,
into the tunnel, didn't he?
it was on the mountain.
That's what he said.
He was
He
climbing the
did
mountain
say that.
looking for herbageries,
He said
different
that.
herbs.
Now, what made you do that?
He was
The blue
foraging.
haze.
The
The
blue
blue
haze.
haze.
Instantly. Mhm.
What I was saying. They took absolutely no notice of what I was undergoing. To them, it was as if they were doing a job. Like
Yeah,
surgeons
he getting down to the work over there.
dissecting
Look
an
at him.
ugly monstrosity on some table. To them, it was a duty of some kind, a duty which was attended by a desperation and an efficiency that was literally out of this world. I remember, after what seemed like an eternity of hell and pain,
Getting
I
to work,
remember
got clean the
that
engine,
the
clean the
living
space,
creature
whatever. That's what tripping me. That happened.
placed its hand upon my mouth, petting my open, screaming lips again and again, none too gently, as if to say, please shut up, you stupid ape. Can't you see we are busy? There was, if I could have read only a trace of expression or compassion in those cold, grayish blue alien faces, I would have understood. But their faces were totally unreadable, and they said nothing. They only seemed to communicate with each other in a series of squeaks and rattling sound and hisses. I remember that in the group there was one of them which took my attention more than all the rest. This creature was wearing a gray silvery garment. But that was not all. It was also wearing a recognizable cap with a visor, a cap of the type that schoolboys used to wear in some schools, a round cap with a little peak like a duck's beak in front. I noticed this and it amazed me. What were these creatures? And when the tallest of the creatures finished petting my mouth, I assumed stupidly that my agony was over, but it was not. Because when human beings or strange creatures like those are busy torturing you, you are in extreme pain. Your pain knows no description. You cannot run. You are utterly captive and helpless. And these things are doing to you exactly as they wish. But when they stop torturing you, when they stop plunging things into your body, things that you don't even understand. Many times I wanted the creatures to tell me what they were torturing me for. What had I done? But they did not even say a word. They did not even make a single recognizable gesture of apology to me. They didn't.
That's wild.
I ain't finna play with none of that.
That's wild.
I'm not finna play with none of that.
That is wild.
Get to the rest of it. I ain't finna play with none of that.
They just went about whatever they were doing. These creatures looked exactly like this. They are the type of alien creature that has been known and feared throughout Africa for generations. This creature is about 3 feet tall. It looks for all the world like a child who is on the last stages of dying of malnutrition. It looks exactly like this. And it has a strange smell, which once you smell it, you shall never forget it. This creature is known by the Zulu-speaking people of South Africa as a mantindane. The word mantindane comes from the verb ntinda, which means to abuse, to fiddle with, and to torture by interfering with the victim's genitals and other private parts. This is an exact description of the Mantindan. It does exactly that. For hundreds of years, even mighty nations such as the Zulus, even powerful warrior nations such as the Botswanas and Xhosas lived in mortal fear of these creatures. Whenever a Zulu army went out on the warpath, Zulu warriors used to wear a strange cup-like device over their private parts under their loinskins. This cup-like device was very dangerous to a warrior in the heat of battle because it sometimes could get undone and get between the warrior's thighs, and cause him to stumble and fall, and so to get killed by the enemy. But the Zulus were so afraid of having their semen stolen by the Mantindane that they found this type of inconvenience acceptable, rather than that they should face the trauma of having things done to them by these beings.
I don't know what you got to say, but
This was another episode of Allegedly Demetria.
yeah,
That was fire.
man. You know what? Don't forget
To like, subscribe, leave a comment.
comment.
Make sure you leave a comment because I want to know what y'all thought about that. You know what I'm saying? I want to know what y'all feel about that, what y'all thinking about that.
I'm interested in knowing.
'Cause that's
heavy.
That's heavy. Too many
What was
descriptions.
they doing with the sperm, the semen? What did he say? Oh,
Taking.
hold on a minute.
Mm,
Wow.
mm.
Peace.
Peace.